Hello and welcome to Netflix versus Cinema, the podcast that goes to the cinema every week, sees a couple of things, stays at home, watches a couple of things, rates them all out of five, and sees where money has been better spent this week. My name is Tosin and I am the host of the show, and I am based in a place called Bromsgrove near Birmingham in the middle of the United Kingdom. Joining me, as always, on the Isle of Wight is Shaun Harris.
Hello.
Sharon Bollen.
Hello.
And from London, from the Big Smoke, from the place where all the premieres happen, it is our London correspondent, Holly Neslane.
Hello.
Yes, not hanging out at Leicester Square tonight, seeing which star is coming in for which premiere or anything like that.
Very much not.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that you didn't try and crash the Wicked for Good premiere.
We've all seen how that goes, though, haven't we? So no premiere crashing for us.
Oh yes, Ariana Grande. Yeah, good point. Oh, okay. We don't have time to get into this, Shaun, but look it up. Look up Ariana Grande stage invasion or something like that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So some fan got a little bit enthusiastic around Ariana Grande. All right, cool. So, as we said, what we do is that we go to the cinema, we watch a couple of things, and let's kick off by talking about what it is we have seen in cinema in the last week. Shaun, fire away. What have you seen?
Okay. Well, I went to a secret screening last week, if you remember. It was a bit.
I do remember that.
And it was a film called Pillion.
Yep.
And you said to me, "Oh, you may like a film called Keeper" last week. So I went and.
Yeah, Keeper. Yep, that was good Perkins film.
Yeah, and then on Friday I went to see Sisu.
Ooh, see the Sisu sequel.
Yeah.
The Sisu was a quest for revenge or something like
Quest
that.
for Revenge.
All right, cool. So yeah, I still haven't seen the first Sisu. I've got it queued up on Sky Cinema, and I still haven't seen the first Sisu. But I know everybody just tells me how much fun it is, and I'm like, oh, I need to see that. All right, cool. So Pillion, Keeper, Sisu, Sharon, Cinema. How are we looking?
It's not looking good.
Yeah.
I haven't managed the cinema this week. I'm hoping to get to Sisu this evening because the only showing on the Isle of Wight is at 9:00, which is too
wow.
late on a school night. So I'm going to see that tonight because I don't work on a Thursday.
Good Lord, 9:00.
And we record on a Friday. Yeah, that's the only showing this week.
Yeah, let's see. I'm with the kids alone, but I'm thinking maybe I could do. They'll be asleep at 9. I could just take them, put them in the cinema. They won't disturb anybody. There's gonna be a couple of explosions on screen. All right, okay. Holly, how about you?
I have seen Wicked for Good.
Wicked for Good. All right, cool. That sounds like a mid noughties rapper or something like that.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Wicked for Good. Okay, cool. Wicked for Good. And I have seen nothing because I have seen nothing in a combination of family events and like my wife abandoned me with the kids for a week. For a week. All right, cool. And how about at home? What have we seen at home? Let's go reverse thing. Holly.
I have seen Return to Paradise season 1.
Return to Paradise, the spin-off of Death in Paradise.
Indeed.
Okay, cool. Return to Paradise season 1. Sharon?
I have seen a film called Train Dreams on Netflix.
Ooh, I've been hearing about that. People
And
are.
Holly and I have still got Witcher
Yep.
season whatever to catch up on.
Yes.
Yeah, people have been
That's
making.
the only new thing I've seen is Train Dreams.
People have been making Oscar-type noises about Train Dreams.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And Shaun, what have you seen at home?
Okay, so I saw 13 Days, an old Kevin Costner film, which I never watched before, about the Cuban Missile
Cuban
Crisis.
Missile Crisis. Yeah. We have Witcher season 3, holdover from last week, and I just have written down here Witcher Rats.
Witcher Rats film.
Witcher Rats film.
Witcher season it's Witcher season 4, not Witcher
4.
season.
Sorry. Witcher season 4. We need to have and that's like a big one that we need to talk about because there's been.
I only mentioned the Rats film because it's got Dolph Lundgren in it.
That's not the one that has. No, that wasn't a film. That was a series. The one that had Michelle Yeoh in it. Michelle Yeoh. There was a Witcher kind of offshoot.
Yes.
A Witcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that origin story one?
Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was
Did
actually.
review that, the Witcher
Yeah, we
origin.
reviewed that a while back, so I'm just trying to make sure that we're definitely talking about different things.
Lenny Henry in it as well.
Oh.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, Shaun, you are at 90 degrees.
Okay, we'll have to go back up that way then. I'll lean
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Right, okay.
We'll have to give you the full tutorial. So what were you talking about? There was one other thing you were talking about.
Oh yeah, so after 30 days, and also there was this thing. I got this thing about forgotten animated films of the 1970s, and there were
Oh, yeah.
films like Watership Down, Heavy Traffic, Fritz the Cat, and this one come up called Fantastic Planet or Planet Sauvage, Savage Planet, which is a
Oh, yeah.
French. And that was on YouTube. The whole thing was on YouTube. I found there was a whole channel with this stuff. So the whole film was on YouTube, and it was, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was
Yeah,
really, really
is that
good.
one of those things that's in the it's in the sort of like almost sort of sword and I can't remember.
No, it's like a planet with these, and the humans are little like creatures called oms,
Okay.
and it's well, I might better get up on the thing, but so it's basically these it's an alien planet, and like they've got humans, but they treat humans as pets, and there's some
Oh.
wild ones, and they like to exterminate them, and there's all
Okay.
sorts of
You have piqued my interest, but Sean, as you have to head off pretty sharpish,
Yeah.
as you have to be pretty sharpish, I'm going to say let's crack on, and I want to put Planet Sauvage on to next week. All right, let us kick off then in cinema as is our one, because I thought we would have some time to get into things that we have started watching, but maybe we might not finish watching. Holly, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at All's Fair. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at Kim Kardashian and All's Fair, and I know Shaun, you had some things to say about Gen V, but I miscounted, and we have a full slate. We have we have 3 things in cinema to talk about, 3 things at home to talk about, and we have a Shaun that needs to rush off. So maybe Holly, Sharon, and I might stay for a little bit, a while longer after Shaun heads off. But quickly, let's go. Cinema, Wicked for Good. Holly, tell us, what's this?
It is part 2 of Wicked the Musical. Part 1 was released, I'm going to call it a year ago, but it could have been any point prior to that. I've lost track of time.
I'm pretty sure it was a year ago. They've done the Harry Potter thing.
Yes. So it is part 2 of the stage musical starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, who are obviously wonderful as far as I'm concerned, and also returning members of the cast as Jeff Goldblum,
Jonathan Bailey, Michelle Yeoh.
It's quite the stellar cast, and the story continues of Glinda, the good witch, perceived good witch, and
Elphaba,
the perceived bad witch, who is green, and therefore green being recognisably bad, obviously, in somewhere that has an Emerald City. Why have logic when you cannot? And it
the
involves
cities are emerald, not the people.
Not the people.
People
No
are not
emerald
supposed to
people.
be emerald. Cities.
Cities emerald, people not emerald.
Yep.
So it involves the unfolding of their lives as Elphaba tries to prove that the wizard is committing fraud against all of the
Well, because if I may, so this is the second part. So obviously, it's picking up from the end of the first part. So this is a film that I would imagine you can't just jump into without watching the first part.
I would recommend against it. You probably could, but you'd probably be a bit confused.
Which is Sharon. That's your issue.
Yeah.
That's your, like, I refuse to go in there having missed 2.5 hours of setup for this film.
Yeah. Need to watch that first. So it is an all singing, all dancing musical extravaganza. The set is beautiful. It's filmed live action, so they are literally singing whilst they're doing their own stunts. It's genuinely impressive. And the vocal capabilities are, particularly of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, are really, really impressive. They are good singers. It sort of is it is all the background / side story to the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are familiar with the Wizard of Oz will recognise various of the characters, some seen close up, some less so. I went to see it in Leicester Square. It was we paid an extra £6 whole for the 2 of us to have extra comfy seats.
Hang on a second. So you did go to the premiere?
No, I did not go to the premiere. I just went to where the film is.
Okay, okay. So just one quick thing, quickly. How much is a ticket in Leicester Square now?
I had no idea
Oh,
because
because you
I'm
had.
voting Limitless Pass.
Okay, cool,
But we
gotcha.
got fancier seats for £3 each. So
Okay.
we got recliners, which was very nice. So it was a beautiful cinema. We had to have a bag check going in though, which was quite weird.
Mm.
Not used to that. And the world's longest queues for refreshments. I absolutely loved it. It was a really fun film to watch. Everybody in the cinema wanted to be there. There was clapping and whooping and cheering, and I cried. I had to hold cinema buddy Steph's hand at one point because I was so emotional, like some sort of small child. But I thought it was wonderful. It was a joyous film to watch, and I am looking forward to watching it again. I may even go and see it in the cinema again
Okay.
because
You-
it was that wonderful. And I know that Shaun will not share my views, and he will never go and see it because he would rather gouge his own eyes out, pull his fingernails out with pliers. But he is missing out and is very wrong.
Well, but okay, going back to something you said earlier about the stellar cast, and I think this is part of the reason it has a stellar cast, because this is a film that I think is pretty much critic proof. This film is pretty much fail proof because it's like it has such a built-in audience who are so emotionally invested that no matter what happened, and I think from an acting perspective, it must be really, really nice to be part of something that you just know is going to be a hit. Like whatever you do, we know it's going to be a hit. A bit like that film Regarding You that I saw the other week, which is still in cinemas, still raking in the money. And it's terrible, but I kind of feel like Wicked for Good, Wicked in general, kind of like defies, in addition to defying gravity, it defies criticism.
Because there were certainly some reviews that were very poor of it, but I can only assume that the person who wrote the very poor reviews hadn't actually been in the cinema, because even if you didn't necessarily like the film, the enthusiasm from the audience is infectious.
Oh yeah,
because people are so happy and excited to be there, and that's actually quite uplifting. Because I've not been to see a film where people are that excited since the last one I went to. People were that excited for.
Okay, you see now what you just said there. Make it. I've been having this. How we had that week the other day where we had like almost every cinema thing we did was a 4, and I've been having a real kind of like you know what, cinema's really awesome. I've had like a couple of weeks. I just been like, cinema's really awesome, and I think a lot of that has to do with Predator Badlands. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like, and I feel like that what you're just saying, there are a whole bunch of people in the same room crying and sharing this thing is the reason is why cinema. And so, how many stars would you give Wicked for Good?
5, obviously. I don't know how that's even up for debate.
Okay,
Clearly
cool.
5.
Okay, I'm gonna read between the lines, and I'm gonna say 5-star viewing experience. I'm gonna read between, and I feel like the film was inconsequential. It was about the experience of watching it.
It was all of the above. All of the above. But definitely a 5-star viewing experience.
All right, cool. And now let us go over to Netflix and let us talk Train Dreams. So Sharon, you've seen this, and this is Joel Edgerton being a woodcutter or something like that. And I know that logger. And there's a lot of talk about this being in the Oscar race for pretty much everything, especially for his performance. But tell us, what's this about?
Yeah, this is about one man and his life. And it's literally it's a whole life journey in the course of a film. And you meet this man, you have this narrator that you never see.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the narrator is basically talking about Joel Edgerton's character, though you never actually meet him. He is someone who is looking back on this life. And Will Patton voices it. So he's got that one of those sort of quite...
classic Americana voices.
Classic American, yes. That sort of, you expect it's almost like, sort of a Grizzly Adams type voice for those of us of a certain age. It sort of it creates a certain mood. And so you have this, and it's very, very sort of like you're reading a story, like you're reading the story of this man's life, but you're actually seeing it played out in front of you. So you start off with him as a young boy, He's orphaned and he's sent on a train with a ticket around his neck to go stay with relatives, and they raise him, and then he sort of grows up and he becomes a logger. He decides to his sort of path has taken him into this sort of working in this sort of this rugged landscape where they're sort of just felling trees basically, and working as a living. And as you see his life, these sort of incidents of his life, you sort of drop in and you sort of almost like you see a chapter of his life. There's where his wife and how he meets her and how that relationship forms. How some impactful moments where he meets like this sort of a train crew when they're sort of still building the railways, and sort of how that impacts his future life. And you literally see these sort of chapters of his life where they're like sort of years apart in his life story. So, but you see how it joins up, and
So
how
kind of episodic.
episodic, yeah. But how the sort of they're also that they're linked by like these train journeys. How it starts off when he's on this train journey as a small boy, and it takes him to where he ultimately spends nearly the rest of his life, and that when he's working away where he lives, there's not much for him to do in terms of employment. So he does this logging, but he has to travel by train to get to where the camps are, and he works as a railway crew, and a lot of the key major incidents of his life are sort of connected by this train. He's either on the train and he's traveling to, or it's linked to the railway line. So, and there's
I'm glad you said that because I was wondering how train came into it. I was like,
yes, you see, he often sort of the train carries him towards these key events, or it's a link. And there's one sort of one major incident that haunts him, and it's sort of that happens around a railway track, and it's connected to trains. So you see, and there's almost like this sort of dream-esque sequences where you have this narrator, and then you have this really sort of quiet, like a low-key performance. It's very sort of naturalistic. You don't get any of like the big drama, hey, look, I'm acting. It's very sort of naturalistic, very feels. Even the big moments, it's not like when someone shows real distress. When someone is, like most people, when they're deeply moved by something, they actually don't like everyone else seeing it, do they? They do try to hold that in, and you get that restraint. And I think that sort of typifies his performance, is the restraint in it. Because it's quite easy, you'd think, if you're an actor, to suddenly go like, you know what, I'm going to cry big here, and I'm going to really go big. And it's like, actually, this is quite much harder, I think, to sort of keep it in, and like, I'm actually going to exercise a quiet dignity and a restraint, like this man would, who has grown up in this sort of early 20th century America, in like this sort of rugged landscape where there's certain expectations of you as a man, and as the life you're supposed to lead. So I found it really, it's one of those like quiet, introspective sort of films that draws you in. When you sort of say, whether in like, surely you normally like to know, was there much action in it? And it'd be like, no. There's lots of drama. There's certainly moments of intensity, but it's not. It's done in a sort of how in our lives, some events happen without much warning, and then you deal with it, and then you move on from it. It's not. It's an episode in a life, and I think that's very much how they sort of treat these things. But I found it quite an intense film, moving. It's a quiet film where you are just drawn into it. So I found it, really, really, not hypnotic, but it just really did hold my attention.
I think it's
cinema, because you have that freedom to abandon everything and just engage in the film. And even though this was on the television, I felt I had that freedom to forget things and just abandon myself into watching it completely.
Yeah, when I heard about this film, I thought the words that came to mind was meditative, and I was like, if Sharon doesn't like this film, there's no hope for it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
no, I really liked it. I liked the mood, the color palette. I liked the way the relationships form. I liked the sort of the lack of melodrama in it. There's drama and there's tension and there's the highs and lows, but I like the fact that it was without melodrama, and so I really, really like this film.
So how many stars did you give this one?
Oh, easily a 4.
Ooh.
And to me, it was Remen easily a 4. It could inch up towards that 5 because I think it reminded me in some ways the different films for a completely different reason, but it had elements of things like Jeremiah Johnson. Had elements of that, with Robert Redford back in the day. Had elements with it, though you could do a compare and contrast, but it had elements.
Yeah.
And it also sort of made me think of, it was there and it's sort of slipping away again. No, it's gone. There's
the Revenant. Okay, no, that Luke says no. That's
the color palette was off, but I liked the way it was just the way it worked. Yeah, it just worked for me.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, so I would give it a 4, close to giving it a 5, but for me, I think it was a definite 4.
So Sharon is throwing her weight for the Oscar vote behind Train Dreams. Yeah. Nice. And now, yes, and Shaun, we've kept you quiet for a while, possibly the longest we've kept you quiet for on this podcast ever. And now it's time for you to tell us about Osgood Perkins' Keeper.
Oh, Keeper, yeah. Okay, so this film, right? This was one you recommended to me the sort of previous week last week.
I thought that you might like this one. I mean, this is a serious recommendation, not like Playdate.
Not like Playdate, no. This was so. This is a story. It's like a couple. They go to the house. They get to know each other. There's a one of them's the man's a doctor, and he gets a phone call, and it says he has to go. He has to go to see someone. It's an emergency, and he leaves the girl in the house, and all these sort of strange things happen, like they would in a house, and she can hear things. She hears things through the walls, and she hears all sorts of strange things, and she tries to get hold of him, and she just gets the answer phone. She says, "Oh, you need to come back. You need to come back." And there's some really weird stuff. She talks to a friend and said, "Look, come and get me. I need to go. I'm not happy staying here. Not happy staying there." And the doctor's got a strange brother which lives across the way in another hut, and he sort of comes in, and it's a bit tense and all that. And then he turns up again and he says, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I had this. There's a lot of trouble." Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, and so it's a really slow burn like that. And then it just goes all like he starts to, do weird. So there's weird stuff that sort of really, really happens. And it turns out, I can't really give. But the thing is, I've got to be careful here.
Sure. Okay. Everything I've heard about this one, I've seen about this film, it strikes me as the kind of film where you have to give the basic premise, and then just tell us what you thought about it.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's what I'm going to have to do. So, yeah, I mean, this was a really sort of slow. It moved really, really slow. But I enjoyed this. I thought I thought, where's this going? Where's this going? And it was like a film that you don't know where it's going. So, and yeah, it was quite an interesting twist to everything at the end. So, I mean, but I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was good. I thought there were some really, really good moments with when she was hearing things and stuff going on, and the crazy brother that was. I think certainly a high 3. Certainly a high 3. That's probably what I'm going to say. A high 3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tatiana Maslany, and I think with her, I actually think she's one of the greatest actresses in the world. If you've ever seen a show called Orphan Black, the woman is amazing. And so anything that she's in, I'm just kind of like, she's going to be good, even if it's something that I don't like a horror movie. I'm like, but she's going to be good. she's going to be great. She'll give you really, really good intense. So you reckon a 3 out of 5, but you enjoyed it?
3 out of 5, yeah, high 3.
High 3.
Thanks for the recommendation, Toes.
No, and I am back in Shaun's good books recommendation wise after he
I think the Playdate was that was you sort of being like
that was I take it as I was accurate. I said you would hate it.
You did indeed. Yes.
Okay, cool. Shaun, because we have issues with your internet, I think we just go on now that it's behaving itself. I say we carry on, and you just carry on and tell us about Pillion.
Okay, Pillion. Now this was an unlimited screening, and I think the unlimited screenings in the week, they are trying things out. It's like Sharon when we went to see like Scrapper and Kneecap, even, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we're talking. This is like really genre specific, and I think it's trying out the audience. So, anyway, first of all, I'll tell you what the audience did. So I reckon must have been perhaps 30 people.
Yep. Oh dear.
And let's just say by the end of the film, there was less than 10, or about 10. So people were just getting up and walking out, like just leaving in droves, and I went with Shaun, and I said, well, I've got to stick with this now. So basically, the story starts off in a bar, and obviously you've got they're doing like a barbershop quartet, and one of them's obviously gay, and he sees this guy at the bar. Do you like the actor in this? I can't remember if it's the actor that Sharon likes.
Alexander
But anyway,
Skarsgård,
yeah.
I think he's got a well-turned ankle.
Right, okay. I thought, I know you'd like him. Well, you probably would like him in this because you see a hell of a lot more than an ankle. Anyway.
I love that.
Anyway.
That's brilliant, Shaun.
When you go by a hell of a lot more, I was a bit like...
So anyway, but how can we go from this? So this is a story. Basically, it's all about the gay scene, but it's the sub-dom gay scene. So this chap in the pub that meets Skarsgård, he's like a sub, what they call a sub, and Skarsgård obviously
played by Harry Potter's cousin.
They have a relationship. Harry Potter's cousin. Oh, yeah. And apparently, I didn't know, but John told me this. He's Patrick Troughton's, the second Doctor Who's grandson or something.
Oh,
but anyway,
okay.
And he reckons he's up for the next Doctor Who. But anyway, back to this film. Basically, all I can say is it's totally about the gay scene. There's a lot of simulated sex.
Well, I think it's quite graphic from what I can understand.
It's really graphic. It's really, really graphic. And I mean, he's like really horrible to him. He like makes him sleep on the floor, do all the cooking for him, do everything.
And then
there's a group of them, and he gives him a padlock to make so he's like an owner. And then he's got friends, motorcycle friends, which they've all got subs as well. So they got like a party, and then I don't know. I really wish it was. Like I've seen a lot of things, Toad. I've seen a lot of things, but this was quite shocking. So you've got all these. I'll tell you the one scene because I don't remember. Anyway, so you've got all these sub ones. They're all lined up across. It's out in the country. They're all lined up across the tables, sort of over the tables like that. With the trousers have got no backs on.
So they're wearing like chaps.
Like chaps, like bottomless trousers. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh my god. So that's basically what it's about. That's basically what it's about. But there's a great scene in it where he says, "Oh, will you come and meet my parents?" And his mum, the sub-star, not Skarsgård. Skarsgård says, "Oh, I don't think that'd be a good idea." Anyway, they go, and she's like, they're really tolerant of him. They know he's gay and all that, but they really don't like him. So there's a bit of a scene there. It's sort of Christmas time, and that's quite well done. That's really well done. But as for the rest, I mean, well, I don't know what to, I really, really struggle what to say about this because it is that's basically what it is, and how the relationship. So like he's obviously got a chain on. Makes him sleep on the floor. Occasionally, let him get in the bed and say, "Oh, you can stay in the bed tonight." And they do things, and he's like, "Oh, you need to go get yourself a butt plug," and all sorts of. Oh, Sharon, I tell you what, you were so lucky not to come to this.
You say that Sharon is blushing now, and she hasn't even seen the film.
I haven't even seen it. Well, the thing is, I had a suspicion that this is probably going to be the secret screening. So when we talked about it, we're going to see it, and I was thinking, I think it's probably going to be that film. And I don't want to be sort of prejudging about a film, but when I looked at the trailer, I thought, I don't think this is for me.
You could have warned me. You could have warned me.
I had
give me a warning and say it might possibly be this film, and prepared me at least. So yeah, so yeah.
Well,
So
no,
what can I say about it?
But I don't think it'd be appropriate in these circumstances.
Well, so what's that, Sharon?
I was going to use the expression, well, thank you, Shaun, for...
Oh, yeah. Take him on for
the team, yeah.
I don't think it's quite appropriate.
Okay. So Shaun, you sort of like, it's a regular thing with you that you quite like films that sort of give you a window into a world that you don't really understand, or that you don't really, that you haven't. That's usually like a film that is outside of your experiences. So did this do this for you, or did this just kind of like make you go, what the hell's going on?
Just sort of freak you out a bit.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Right, I've seen loads of horror films. I've never put my hand in front of my eyes, something like that. But I was like, that a couple of scenes, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, So so it was. I mean, thinking about it now, it was interesting to know about that scene. But
the whole film,
for me personally. I did. I watched the whole. Well, I thought, I'm there. I just as well watch it, and then I could tell you guys about it. So
yeah.
And we could maybe have a little bit of a laugh or whatever about it. So, but yeah. So as for stars, I don't know what to. I don't know how I'm going to do this, because I expect it was very, very well acted, and I mean, as I say, with the parent scene, with the but from a personal point of view, it's not the sort of thing I'd like to see. As I say, and it was hands over my eyes going, oh no, So, but I guess if you was to take the film as a whole and you was interested in that type of thing, acted and cinematography and what have you, it's probably warrants a 3, I would think.
Cool, good stuff. 3 for Pillion. All right, and let's see. Okay, so three stars for Pillion. Thanks a lot for that, Shaun, and thanks for fighting through. Thanks for fighting through your finger.
we might get a few shorts from that.
It's like thanks for fighting through looking through your fingers, and thanks for fighting through your Wi-Fi issues to give us that review. All right, cool. And now let's go to Holly. Holly, we got you with Return to Paradise. So Return to Paradise. He said season 1.
Yes. So season 2 has just started.
Okay.
And we are 3 episodes into that, which I have watched. So the premise of Return to Paradise is that it's a spin-off of Death in Paradise, a series I have never actually watched, but that's, seems to not be an issue at all. And
I've seen a couple of things, and I don't think it's an issue. It's very, very sort of like murder of the week kind of thing. And
very generic.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Sound the Klaxon, for me, probably one of the most colonial shows on TV.
That seems entirely reasonable.
Yeah, because it's like every single season it is a case. I think that they've changed it in the last season, because I think that maybe somebody heard me complaining about it, because I did a lot of complaining about it. But every single season, it's essentially a case of, right, we're on this Caribbean island and we have all these black policemen, but they can't possibly do it, so we need to fly in a white policeman from London who is going to come and be the chief inspector and teach them how to solve crimes. I'm like, it's been going on for over a decade. You're telling me you couldn't train them up in a decade? Anyway, sorry.
This suggests bad people management.
Yeah.
Very bad people management from our white London detective.
Yeah.
So this begins with a young Australian detective who had been working in London and finds herself in a difficult position with some sort of HR investigation. I can't remember what it was. And so she's gone back for a holiday to her home somewhere in Australia. They may have told us where it was. No clue. It looks very pretty. I think her name is Mackenzie. Her name is the only one I can remember from the entire series, even though I have watched a whole series and I'm 3 episodes into the second one. It is beautiful scenery. Yes, you just missed Tosin with your headphones off that I can't remember the names of anyone in it except the main character. It is lovely looking, and they each week solve a new random murder. This is clearly not a safe place to live.
Please keep talking. I'll be right back.
We will see you anon. It is thoroughly watchable. And perfectly nice. as I say, I enjoy each episode and finding out who committed what slightly bizarre crime, and they were all clearly marvelous at crime solving. And there's the Aboriginal young man and the slightly hippie older white woman, and then the former love interest who she left at the altar, and then the former who is a pathologist, and the former love interest's new girlfriend, and the former love interest's mother, who is the chief of police in this very random place. As I say, can't remember any of their names. I'm sure they have lovely names. Every single character is a walking stereotype. As I say, no clue who they are, but I enjoy watching it. And I absolutely binged the first series, and I'm really struggling with the fact it's only one episode a week in the second series on BBC, but I am going to continue watching because it is pleasant viewing. It's like, a cup of tea and a chocolate digestive.
I think like most people, I think I might have dropped in and seen the odd Death in Paradise. I certainly haven't watched them exclusively, but there was always noticeable by having quite a lot of guest stars. There was often like the murder of the week, and there was like the guest star of the week. Is that the same thing that follows over in this sort of?
Definitely murder of the week. There may be guest stars of the week, but I haven't recognised any of them yet.
Yeah,
but they're probably well recognised in Australia.
Possibly, yes, but it's clearly also targeted over here. So there's the usual collection of generic white man and generic white woman and generic young Aboriginal guy who's become a police officer. It's all very generic but lovely. And Mackenzie has fantastic, really sharp cheekbones, which is just quite impressive to see. So just looking at the bone structure is interesting. So I would absolutely recommend it. It's very watchable twaddle.
Is Mackenzie the Aboriginal officer?
No, Mackenzie is the lead character who has long red hair.
Oh yeah. I've seen her. I've seen the picture. I agree with you on the cheekbones.
Very good cheekbones. Also very angular jaw. She carries it off very well. But yeah, I don't really know entirely what's going on. I don't really care. Watch it if you want something mindless. It's lovely. And if you can remember the names of any of the characters, please let me know, because literally in one eye and ear and out the other, because it's just not sufficiently interesting to care.
All right. And how much did you give it a star rating?
I have not yet. I'm going to give it a solid 3-star. Very watchable. No particular substance to it. Wasn't expecting it to have any. That's what it says on the tin.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I think my previous rant. See my previous rant. I think that's the most interesting thing about the most interesting and controversial thing about the Parent series. It's just really nice and cozy Sunday afternoon viewing kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's say cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit.
Yeah, and I think it's also a bit because they've had Death in Paradise, they've had Return to Paradise, and there's another one that's set in Devon that has one of the characters who left Death in Paradise and comes back Beyond Paradise.
Beyond Paradise, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, with Chris Marshall. So they do. So
Devon is Beyond Paradise now. I mean, I've got nothing against Devon, but that seems kind of random.
It's Beyond Paradise.
Who am I to judge? Beyond Paradise up, Beyond Paradise down. I mean, so many questions.
They just run out. They've run out of adjectives for Paradise. So anyway, okay, now let's go on back to Netflix, and we are going to talk The Witcher Season 4. And I think it's only fair that, Sharon, you take the lead on this.
Okay, Season 4. And if you haven't joined the Witcher train, then it's probably a bit too late to join it at this point. But it does carry on more or less where the last one left off. You've got your 3 principal characters. And you have got Geralt of Rivia, who is the...
Sorry, guys.
All right, Shawnee. Yeah, you've got Geralt of Rivia, who is the Witcher, the main Witcher that we see. There is Yennefer, who is a mage, and there is Ciri, who is the next big thing. The princess.
A princess who is somehow, through very convoluted reasons, Geralt's daughter.
Adopted daughter, yeah. So the first season it was establishing, who are these people? What are we? What is this land we're living in? So you had the three strands in the first series about how they all sort of converge.
Yep.
I suppose season 2 was about how they coalesce their relationships and how they form this bond between the three of them. It's unlikely they form this family. Season 3 was where you start to see their sort of happiness sort of fragment a little bit, and they are separated by life, by circumstances, by things. So in this 4th season, the three of them are separated again, and you follow their journeys as they sort of gather a group of people around them. Sort of Geralt has got his sort of group of mixed match people from different cultures, from different species almost, because this is a world where you've got elves and dwarves and gnomes and humans, and then you've got different people with superpowers and things.
Yeah. It's pretty much a high fantasy world. It's a high fantasy world.
And then you've got his sort of mission. Then you have got Yennefer is trying to sort of reorganize the mages who were like devastated in the last series, and Ciri is up on her own, and she's joined part of this like street gang called the Rats, who are sort of like petty criminals, where they sort of do these sort of scams, and they put these jobs where they're basically sort of skirting on the edges of society. So you've got these 3 different strands.
I'm getting Oliver Twist vibes.
Yeah, and so you see how they're all sort of heading towards a point, but we haven't quite got to that point yet.
Yeah.
So that's the story as it is. But the big question is, though, Henry. We have no Henry.
We
have a Liam.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. So for anybody who doesn't know, the big news in the Witcher world after season 3 was that Henry Cavill, actually it was before season 3, it was announced that Henry Cavill was no longer going to be in the role of Geralt of Rivia. And I think Henry Cavill had been a massive part of the success of this show, because even if like someone like me who's never read a Witcher novel, never played a Witcher game, Henry Cavill seemed to fit that role like a glove. It just seemed like this thing was made for him. He was a massive nerd. He was apparently the person who was like the guardian of, we must keep true to the source material on the set and everything like that. And he said he was no longer going to do it. So whatever happened in this season, I think the storyline would be by the by. I mean, the storyline in The Witcher is pretty convoluted anyway. I've only watched season 2, and I feel like I need to go back and do a recap of everything that's happened before I even try season 3, because I'm not going to have a clue when I switch it on.
I would go back to season 1 and watch them all again, frankly, which is what I did before season 4.
Is it just to try and figure out what the hell is going on? Who is there? Where are we? What's the geography? All that kind of stuff, because it's the lore is dense. But all of that was just going to fall by the wayside for the big question. They've brought in poor old Liam Hemsworth, and I mean that with much sympathy and empathy as I can muster. They've brought in poor old Liam Hemsworth, and they said, here's a role that fit Henry Cavill like a glove. Everybody loved him. Go see what you can do. And they've thrown him to the dogs. And so this whole thing was going to... So I'm not even saying it's going to rise and fall. I think it's more likely that it's going to fall. It's going to fall and not. It's going to fall because Henry Cavill isn't there. But the big question was going to be Liam Hemsworth. How much do we hate him in this role?
Oh gosh, there was a review from, I think it was the Guardian or the Independent, that described him as having the charisma of a bollard in a wig.
Yes, I heard about that. That I thought was just mean.
But I think it's so fair. Yes, it's
not fair.
And I like him as an actor, but this is just it was so Henry Cavill, who had very much created specificity for it. There was mannerisms and things that were clearly very Henry Cavill himself.
Yeah.
And that he was able to transmit into the role. There was sort of dour, gruff succinctness that, with him felt like it flowed through. And with Liam Hemsworth, it's kind of, like he's going to wear his dad's jacket.
Yeah. I think the key scene for me was when you had this scene with Yennefer and Geralt, where they meet up, and there's absolutely zero chemistry, isn't there?
Oh yeah, the really weird sex scene. That was really weird, not very good.
And it
was
also
completely out of keeping. It's not how anything else had worked either. It's like somebody's had a little bit of a connection.
But you can put the clothes on, you can put the wig on, you can make the voice sound the same, but it's just that that
Something.
spark. There's something just missing.
Yeah,
and when you have that scene, it just feels forced and uncomfortable.
It felt.
And you're watching it going.
Oh, but because I was gonna say, like, weird sex scenes does seem to be Geralt and Yennefer's thing.
Yes, but this is not weird sex scene as in the rest of the series. This was really uncomfortable, awkward, sort of, bad romance. It's like a really bad fantasy romance thing, and you just watched it and went, "Oh, that's creepy." Because whereas the other ones are all quite sort of comedic, and it's all got sort of character to it, whereas this was just, sort of misty-eyed, fuzzy soppiness, and you're just like,
well, I remember the one where they literally bring down the building around them.
Exactly, with frankly slightly comedic music going on. It's got pizzazz, and this is just like, why are the two people who look quite pretty but don't seem to actually like each other having sex with each other on the screen, and why do I have to watch this? I think I actually looked away because I was just like, this is just kind of creepy weird.
Was this like Shaun watching Pillion?
Yeah, I watched.
Yes.
I wanted to give Liam Hemsworth the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. So really? I watched the whole thing, but I was thinking, I don't want to be that person to go on, oh, you could never be Henry. But I just feel that there was just something missing.
Yeah, I think it's exactly
that life behind the eyes, that something. But I just felt that there was just even the big battle where he takes the potion and he goes all witchery.
Oh, witchery, yeah.
Again, that didn't, to me, that was a bit like, oh, that looks a bit odd. Whereas it doesn't feel like he inhabited that character in the way that we've
so it's not even that he brings his own thing to the role. I'm guessing he's not doing a Cavill impression, but he's also not bringing his own thing to the role. Is what
he sort of is doing a Cavill impression. That's
the voice is very similar. The old Jen and all that, Jen or whatever that's how he does it. Jennifer. Yeah, all that. That sort of stuff. But yeah, so it's a bit.
But it sounds a bit more like he's got kind of phlegm in his throat than the sort of way that Henry Cavill used it. And it's not because he's not a good actor; he is a good actor, and that's what's disappointing about it. I found, because I was staying open-minded because I didn't think Henry Cavill had so created that role around himself and put himself into it, and that was you don't often see really actors doing it quite as much or as well as he did. It's always going to be difficult, boots to fill. But they all then, a load of them felt a little bit sort of flat after that as well. It's like the coherence had dropped away a bit.
Yeah, that thing that held that magnet that sort of draws everyone together. Was out.
And it wasn't that they weren't physically together. It was the feel had shifted a bit, and it's a real shame.
Because I think one of the reasons why I think season 3 for me was disappointing was because of you had less Geralt in it. There were fewer of the. I think it was when Henry was probably just they were looking at ways of getting around him. But to me that was the failings, because he is the one the driving force behind it. He's the first character you meet, and you see most of the action through his eyes, and he is the thing that links it all together. And when you take that away, even though you replace it without that force, without that presence, it just doesn't work the same way. So I found I wanted to give it a good go. I watched it all, but to me it was just.
Yeah. I'll watch the last series as well. I will do because invested.
Well, and also there's only one more series, so you might as well throw good money after bad and at this stage. Yeah. All right, cool. So how many stars would you give The Witcher season 4?
I'm gonna be really.
I feel like a meanie.
You're going 1.
I was going to go 2.
Yeah, I'm going to as well. I actually feel I'm being kind of generous with a 2.
Eesh.
It was honestly so. I was so disappointed by it, and I really wanted to not be.
Holly, you see, like, you've got this look and sound in your voice right now that's just kind of like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Exactly. That is exactly it. I'm just disappointed, and I will be sorrowful.
All right, so that is 2 stars for The Witcher season 4. That was a thankless task. I just thought from the word go, Liam Hemsworth playing The Witcher, it's a thankless task. Yet nothing good is going to come of this for you. Well, apart from the money, I'm hoping you're getting paid a lot because nothing good's going to come from you. All right, cool. So with that being said, who do you think has won this week, Netflix or cinema?
Cinema.
We
have trashed Netflix.
Well, yeah. Well, to be honest with you, it was a bit of a close run thing. If it wasn't for the 5-star watching experience for Wicked for Good that Holly had, because we are on average here, we have 3 stars for Netflix and Friends, and we have 3.66 for cinema. So it's could have.
Say we have been swung by cinema experience. I have to say, I genuinely, independently, Wicked, I think, is a really, the mood and everything else was wonderful, but the singing is so good. It's really, everything they've done about it is so impressive.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great cinema experience, but it's a genuinely impressive film in and of its own right. So it gets a double whammy from me, whereas, Shaun's experience was very much a not to my taste sort of film, and that's fine because I completely get why that wouldn't be. Not to everyone's taste.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people saying that, like, the second half of the story, and this is something that happens in the stage show as well, isn't as strong as the first, doesn't have as good songs and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of like,
I think that's sort of open to debate because For Good, that song is just
for good, and like essentially.
Flying.
I feel like there's a reason why they call it Wicked for Good. People say because that is the good song in the second half.
The new songs for it are good as well, I have to say. I was pleasantly surprised by them. Though I don't know if I sent you the excellent meme of was it John what's-his-face's face when on having, expected perfection and an Oscar out of Wicked for Good, and
John M. Chu, is it?
Yes, thank you for the new song or whatever it is, and then K-pop Demon Hunters comes out. Have you watched K-pop Demon Hunters?
I have watched K-pop Demon Hunters, and I have reviewed K-pop Demon Hunters.
Because I think I need to watch it.
Yeah. You haven't watched the show, Holly?
I've not watched it yet.
Holly, the number of kids that you have in your life and everything like that, watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, they're not quite the right ages, the ones that I see a lot of. But
wait, how old are they? What, teenagers?
No.
How old?
4 and 6 are the.
That is the perfect age. Kemi has been singing all the songs ever since it came out. My daughter's 5. She loves it. Her 2-year-old sister's been loving this whole thing. Everything.
Yeah, to be fair, the songs do seem great. I will watch it. I will watch it with the small people.
I know Golden is the song, and Golden is the one they're going to put for the Oscars, and Golden is the one that should win, because quite frankly, any song that they put from K-pop Demon Hunters should win the Oscar. I'm sorry, there is no other song. Yeah. If they pick any song from that film, it should win the Oscar. But they're going to pick Golden. But for me, my money would have been on Soda Pop. Although the song in the film that definitely makes me cry every time, this is what it sounds like. That song is awesome. And that song repairs the honeymoon, which is a reference that nobody's going to understand if you have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters. So go see it.
I will watch it. Maybe not this evening. I will watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, Sharon, I know that you're a lost cause as far as this is concerned because it's animated. So I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Anyway, so now just quickly, let us go through things that we are in the middle of watching. Things that we're in the middle of watching, and are we going to continue watching them? And I'm going to kick you off. I'm going to pick one for you, Holly, and say all's fair, because I don't think you're getting to the end of this show. So it's like...
All's Fair, the new series with Kim Kardashian, Sarah Paulson,
Glenn Close, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash-Betts. That's a great cast, apart from the... Well, that's okay. No, okay. Let me know. That's mean. I'll say that is a well-established cast, apart from the first name.
I think they may have forgotten how to act.
I think Ryan Murphy happened. Ryan Murphy happened.
The premise is that Naomi Watts and Kim Kardashian and other woman, name I've forgotten.
Niecy Nash.
Niecy Nash, thank you.
Niecy
have
Nash
their own
Betts.
law firm that they sort of spun off, and they specialise in helping women in divorces. And there's a lot of diamonds and a very bad English accent from Naomi Watts for reasons. And they just stuff Kim Kardashian's marriage to some sort of footballer falls apart, American football. I think that's what he does. I don't know. I don't care. He seems like a not a very nice person. I would use other words if Sharon weren't here. I would use much stronger words if we weren't recording. But that's fine. And Glenn Close is an old lawyer, and Sarah Paulson is like a former colleague of theirs who's also got her own firm, and everybody's very sort of obviously emotional. I don't know what the point of it is.
Okay, so
stupid.
What are your main grievances with it?
It's like everybody has forgotten how to act. And they are good actors. But Sarah Paulson seems to have had a brain melt. And I don't know why, because she's brilliant. I love Sarah Paulson. But what's happened? Glenn Close, talented actor. What has happened? I can't think of what else I've seen Niecy Nash in off the top of my head, but I'm fairly sure talented actor.
Yeah, Niecy Nash, yeah, she is.
What's her face? Naomi Watts. Something has happened to her accent. It's gone really weird. She has just, it's like they've sucked all of their actual personalities out and injected them with styrofoam. I have no comprehension as to what the point of it is. I mean, Kim Kardashian, I should add, is not bad. She's fine. She's actually not the worst thing about this, which is what I expected, which is unkind. But, she is not an established actor if you set aside some moments in her, personal life, which might look like they'd been a setup, which is probably also terribly unfair. But, she does a perfectly reasonable job. It's that script is appalling.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad. It's stilted. It just is really stupid. Like really stupid. Not a little bit stupid, like mind-bendingly stupid. Like my cats could come up with a better premise, and they can't type and have no opposable thumbs.
Well, the thing about this is when it was first announced, it looked to me, did you ever see the British TV show The Split with Nicola Walker?
No.
I think you would like that, because that is essentially about a group of women who run a divorce firm, who run a law firm that specializes in divorce. And that's where, and it's called The Split. And I thought, is this just like an American remake of that? And I find it, I'm almost fascinated. The thing is, I don't want to watch this, but the only thing that makes me want to watch it is like, I'm thinking, how do you take the exact same premise almost, and the British one is lauded and oh my god, this is amazing, and the American one is described as trashy nonsense because
maybe they let a drunk toddler loose in the original script. That's the best I've got.
Okay, cool. So you will not be continuing with this?
Well, I will probably try a couple more episodes because I promised somebody that I would watch it as she didn't have access to it. And I'm going to be miserable throughout every second of it. And I will be sending her, fond but abusive WhatsApp messages about what I'm going through for her sake.
How many episodes have you watched?
3.
All right.
3. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. I have seen the ones that were available at the point at which I watched it, and I just sort of twitched violently and thought, do I need to adjust my medication to survive this experience?
Okay.
And I decided that was a bad idea, and I didn't really want to have that, that medical conversation about how I coped with appalling television that had been, destroyed by a potentially drunk toddler.
All right. Okay, cool. Sharon, anything that you are in the middle of watching?
I'm halfway through 2 Apple TV ones because they're like episode of the week type things. Yep. Pluribus.
Same here. Yep.
I'm enjoying.
I'm in the middle of Pluribus.
I will definitely keep watching that.
Yep.
Pluribus. And
I'm watching that to the end.
Yes, I will be watching that to the end. It's just, yes, I think it gets better and better. So I am yes, it does confound me every time I watch it, thinking actually this was not what I was expecting this week. So yeah, I mean I'm all in for that, and I'm also watching is it the Last Frontier?
The Last Frontier
Jason
with
Clark
with
plays
Shaun's friend Jason Clark.
Shaun Powell. I mean, I'm struggling a bit more with that one, I have to say. I'm finding that again. It started off quite strong, and a plane crashes in Alaska, full of these dangerous prisoners, and what there's one like unusual prisoner on board, who's got a man with exceptional skills, blah 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 blah. And then it started to get a little bit more convoluted, there was a little bit of like Prisoner of the Week, where you follow one of the escaped
He's,
people.
no, I'm not surprised about that because I saw that, and when I first saw the trailer, I thought, "Ooh, that looks like a good 90-minute film."
Yeah,
And I actually saw that. I thought it was a 90-minute film, and I was shocked to realize it was a TV series because I was like, that premise cannot sustain anything
no.
more than maybe 4 episodes.
Yeah, and so all they're dangling all these carrots to say, "Oh, look, there's this mystery to be able to be solved," and you get to the point where you're thinking, "Yeah, I'm not really that bothered."
Yeah,
So I'm struggling with that one already. I'm sort of that could become a DNR did not finish, or DNF did not finish
yeah.
on my pile. They're the two main ones. There's a few of them I think I probably have abandoned. I was watching King and Conqueror about the Norman Conquest on BBC iPlayer,
Yeah.
and I've actually only got one episode to go, and I'm just like, I just I can't.
I saw something for it and thought,
It
No,
was
no,
enjoyable.
conceptually, I would like this.
the truth is that there are so I've gone for some episodes, some shows like that where I've gone to like an episode to go, and I've just kind of thought I can't be bothered, and I'm just waiting on the final episode. Is just waiting there, and I'm like I'm never getting around to you. Just go away.
Yeah, and there's a few like that where I've struggled through, but I find as soon as I start it off, within 5 minutes, I'm picking up my book, I'm looking for something to do, I'm just fiddling around, I'm scrolling through Vinted, and I've ended up buying 2 pairs of trousers and a t-shirt. I'm just like, it's like, I don't
And
even
it's
want
like,
these things.
yeah, I wouldn't have bought these if I weren't trying to survive the tedium of what I'm watching.
Yeah, what? So someone's benefited from my sort of desperation to like just go, oh, just stick it out for half an hour. So yeah, there's a few I've got, but to be honest with you, I think I've just wiped them. They're like that I've just deleted them from my playlist.
Yeah.
Good for Vinted, not for your sanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And the only other thing I will add, because my big thing was Pluribus. Pluribus is the one that I'm watching, and I think I think 2 episodes in, I'm like, this is shaping up to be something very, very special. And the only thing I would add, the last thing is I started watching The Big C, which is mainly because it showed up. It has been. It finished probably close to 10 years ago. But it was a big thing when it came out. I never watched it, and it showed up on Netflix, and the episodes are half an hour long, and so that is like gold dust. Finding a half-hour long show nowadays is like gold dust, and they were half-hour long, and I was like, ooh, cool, I can have this on in the background. And sure enough, it's really good with Laura Linney, Oliver Platt, and it's like a late to the party thing where it's finished. It was acclaimed during its run, and I see now it was all about Laura Linney finding out that she has cancer and her response to it. And it's and obviously going back and watching things that you watch that has happened years later, and you start seeing people like, oh my god, look who's in it. Look, is that Idris Elba? Look at a tiny young Idris Elba before he.
Which reminds me, I've just watched the first series of Broadchurch.
Oh yeah.
It's got Jonathan Bailey in it.
Yeah, it's things like that. There's an actor in this who plays their son and plays their teenage son, or like very teenage son, called Gabriel Basso, and he plays the son in that, and he is now the lead of one of Netflix's big hits, The Night Agent. He is he's the lead of The Night Agent, and I was like, oh, he's so tiny. He's a child. And I don't know how old he is now or how long ago it was, but the fact that he's playing like some sort of Jack Bauer type in The Night Agent, and he's like a total kid and is like 40 years old. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. But anyway, it's time for us to we know who's won this week. We said it was cinema. And just one final thing, and I did not say this at the beginning of the show because I was not sure I would get through it. But early this week, it's been a crazy week, and on Monday I went to London for a funeral. For my uncle's funeral, Uncle Femi, he was one of the... Excuse me.
Oh, toes.
Yeah. He was great. He was 80, and he was one of the people who really looked after me and my brother when we first came over to the UK. And I think made it possible for us to actually even live here. And this is a tiny thing, but I just wanted to dedicate this episode to Uncle Femi because he was the kind of person that you always wished you would be. He was kind of like, he was almost like a textbook. He was like, almost like he wasn't real. But I just wanted to say thank you, Uncle Femi. Wherever you are, you are a great person. You had a great faith in God. And I hope that you are making him feel the way we all felt when we were around you. And with that being said, until next week, is a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye for me.
A goodbye from me.
Thank you very much for joining us.